First time. By the way, your camera is actually quite immense. Have you got a Mac like what are you
It's a
on?
DS. I'm on a proper DSLR that I use for my YouTube videos, so that's all hooked up. Looks a bit better than the old webcam, doesn't it? I think
Well,
so.
I had like the Sony ZV-10. I had it, and I thought the quality from the iPhone Pro was better than the Sony ZV-10. Like I was like, I couldn't compare it. I thought, and I actually returned it. I was quite naughty. I returned it. It's been a year after buying it from Amazon, and I
Uh,
returned it. They
Hope it
accepted
wasn't a
it.
third party seller you bought it from.
No, no, it was directly from Amazon. So like, not gonna hit it on our own. But
Yeah. So mine's a
yeah.
Sony A6400 or something like that, I think, or 6500 or 60. I don't know, one of those ones. So yeah, it's like 1600 quid or so. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, they're decent lens. So
No, to be fair,
yeah,
like it looks amazing. Like I've just got the Sony, I've just got the iPhone Pro now.
yeah, it
Um,
looks fine to be fair. And then I've got the lighting as well and stuff all set up. So
Damn.
I spent a bit of money on the kit. Basically, I'm the kind of person I am. I don't like
Just go bananas. Just go straight away
yeah,
bananas and then just like
basically.
go.
So
Let's
it's an
go.
investment, and now I'm VAT registered as well. Like, if I registered, sorry, I can claim it all back.
Well, why not? It's just that's the way I'm seeing it with everything. Is just everything comes to it. Like I can just at some point I'm Bavara registered, so I can just may as well get it back. At
Yeah,
the moment, I'm just like, and honestly, Simon, I'm just over and over again, just like electric car or not. Am I buying the Tesla or not? Am I buying the Tesla or not? I'm just uh, that is what's constantly going in my
yeah,
head. Like even
yeah,
today, I was like, oh, I could actually buy it and I could lease it and all that, and
absolutely.
that's what's going in my head over
Yeah.
and over. I don't know what about you, but it's constantly going in my head, thinking like, bloody hell, you're
Yeah.
like working hard kind of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, I always look at cars. So yeah, any new sellers, by the way, obviously when you start out, you're not VAT registered, but and it's a little bit scary to go VAT registered, but there are like loads of advantages. Like everything you buy, you get like a discount on, which is great.
of course,
So I'll just carry on talking anyway.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I always look at like and electric cars as well. There's like you get great benefit in kind as well when you get an electric car like Tesla or anything like that. I think it's a 1% or 2% benefit in kind. But yeah, it's always tempting to
I'm here.
cool. Yeah, always tempting to look at electric cars and things like that. But to be honest, the car I'm probably going to get is a Porsche at some point.
The
But
what? The 100K one?
no, to be honest,
No,
cars
because
are a
it's
waste of
not.
money.
I'm just talking about
Uh,
electrics. Because like obviously, like if it comes to the
oh,
business,
so
if it comes to the
yeah, Porsche
business, like this,
Taycans are
yeah.
the least desirable car right now. They've lost like a crazy value. So I would not buy one of those. And I do like Teslas, but I don't really like Elon anymore. So that puts me off a little bit. To be honest, I when my car broke down, I drove a little Hyundai Kona. And that was actually an alright little car. It was pretty nippy, and you can pick one up second hand for like 16 grand. Thing is, cars are a waste of money. So, but yeah, it's
It
tempting.
really is, isn't it? It really is. And I'm not even a car person, and honestly, I'm not even a car person. I just think in my head, I always had it like, if you do well enough, like you'll get your car. But it's just,
Sure.
I'm like, on the other side, I'm like, do I get my car? Like, I'm sending my daughter into private nursery, you know what I mean? And for me, like, I think sending my daughter into a private nursery is going to be better than like getting a car for myself personally. And I've got like, I don't know about yourself, like, but it's like different goals that I've got. So for me now, the biggest goal is paying off this student loan. Like I didn't realize that the interest rate was going to go so high on it. Like
Yeah.
I even got people on my WhatsApp, my personal WhatsApp, and I said, guys, have you actually checked it to see what it is? And it was 7.6 and 6.5, so it's like 14K that I just want to get paid off. And then the next stage after that is the bigger house. That's what I want, really. The car, I think, is just more of a well done to myself
Yeah.
than anything, if that makes sense. It's just more of like a well done. But then again, why drive a fancy car? Who cares? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah,
Like,
you gotta do it for yourself, the enjoyment. Like, I want a fast car, but, like, the house is important to me. I live in a flat right now. I kinda wanna get a house at some point, but without having to sell the flat. So,
that'd be amazing,
it's
yeah, because then
that's
you could
what
just
I want.
have the income. Like, it's so
But
weird,
but
isn't it?
yeah,
Like,
it's, it is tempting to spend money on things like cars and stuff, but they are a total waste of money, so I'm all about reinvesting the money, and, to be honest, do you know what, like, I don't know where I saw this, or like a YouTube video. about what the RR in Rolls Royce stands for, and it means recurring revenue. So pay for your Rolls Royce through recurring revenue,
Yeah.
or whatever car. So rather than paying in cash, ideally build up a bunch of investments that pay you
And
enough to buy the car, rather than spending the actual capital itself on, initial capital on the car. But yeah, it's always tempting, all these
it's
things.
it's it's like the
But you
premise
got to
of the
think
whole.
rationally there. You got to think rationally. But say if you lease one for a few years, like get out your system, it's not too bad. So I had a fancy car when I was way younger. I had a TT. Well, fancy-ish, not that fancy, but so I kind of got that out of the system a little bit. But that was a total waste of money. You know.
No, no. I mean, and I've had extremely bad luck with cars, and honestly, extremely bad luck with cars. My first car I bought at 3K, I was happy with that. Second car, I went for a Peugeot 3008, which was quite a biggest car for like a 21-year-old. It was 25K, and then I had 500 quid left to pay off completely. Back in the day when they had 0% APR, by the way, 0% finance, and then the car just went, and I only got 3,000 back for it after paying 25K.
uh,
So literally, I went back to
crazy.
the dealership that pretty much had my pants down, and I ended up with like a small Peugeot 308, and now luckily I've got like like a Nissan X-Trail. But it's just always been in the back of my head. It's just I keep thinking, I'm like, Nick, why are you going to pay 800 quid for a Tesla? Like, which you don't need. I'm thinking, oh
Yeah,
yeah, but it makes it's financially a right decision because it can save 20% corporation tax. But like, what could I be doing with the extra 1,000 of revenue each month? And it's not even revenue; it's actually profit, isn't it? Because you're not going to see
yeah,
that money back. We're not even talking about revenue; we're talking about profit. You would have to pay it, but the premise that you were saying is like literally is that rich dad poor dad, isn't it? The whole book is like making sure that you've got assets that are paying for your outgoings, really. And
yeah. Get an investment property, and then if that makes you 1,000 quid a month, use that 1,000 quid to pay for your lease on a Tesla. Like,
yeah,
or whatever it is basically. But yeah, the other thing with leases as well is like I don't like paying money out for something I'm not going to own. So I
that's
look at it and
that's
think, oh, it's only like £300 a month or £400 a month. But then I'm like,
you're not going to
after
own
2 years, I don't own anything. I've just spent all this money. So but yeah, yeah. Anyway, how's your Amazon going? That's probably what
it.
people are here to talk
I know, well, man,
about.
to be honest, like I think for us for doing this, and I'm hoping like we can actually do it like once every 2 weeks. I mean, ideally
Yeah.
once a week would be perfect, but like with me having like all of the things and like once every 2 weeks, I'm
Mm.
hoping we can just talk literally about anything and everything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Um,
I'm always happy to talk about finance, things like that, and
yeah, it's
business and
just
whatnot.
like
Like,
with
that's my
The Amazon for
my
me,
thing, really.
like it's so weird because like I'm maybe spending now on Amazon. I'm maybe spending maybe like 10 hours a week. That's what it is. Okay. I'm maybe spending 10 hours a week. And I'm like, should you maybe start spending a bit more time, Nick? Yeah. So you start like,
Mm.
it's a Greek expression is like saying, Mathe technikastine, campinasis piastine, which basically means like lend an art and do it. And then when you ever need it, just jump back in and do it. And I'm like, thinking to myself, Nick, we're paying right 70 to 80 quid a day on advertising on Amazon for our PPC at the moment in time because we've got so many like private label products. And
Mm.
I'm like, we've got an American Express card. Why the heck am I not spending 10K a month on OA and get the 2K back, which I could be using towards the advertising and grow the business even faster instead of me waiting for the private label over and over again. It just means obviously I've got to do a lot more. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I was in a mentality of like, and I'm still am. I want the store to be completely private label. I do want the store to be completely private label, but I know how to do OA and I know how to do RA. Like RA, I've not got the time to do it. And honestly, I wish I could do it more. I wish I could do it more because I can see some people with amazing hits, but I've just not got the time. And going back to the car thing, I hate driving. Like I'm good at it, but I just hate. I just think it's a proper waste of my time. Um,
yeah. I
so
mean, especially if you're going out and looking for the deals, that's where it's. But if you go out, like I do RA, but I only go out when someone posts a deal. So I'm in another group which is just dedicated to RA, and they post great RA deals. So I'll go out then. But RA is unless you're hitting like 50, £100 an hour. I'm like, is it worth it to me? Like, I'm getting to that point now where I'm like, I need to be making a decent amount of money, and there's nothing worse than going to a store and there's
and not
nothing
finding
there.
it.
and you're wasting all that time. So, all right, yeah, it can be good and bad, basically. But yeah, private label was like, yeah, that's a good way to go, isn't it? And it's also
Well,
what you enjoy as well. And then going back to the 10 hours a day thing, like, or 10 hours a week. So, I mean, I'm doing like 10 hours a day, but it all depends what you want from out of your, you know,
it's
do you want
exactly
the
that.
work-life balance or do you want to work hard now? I mean, I'm just, yeah, obsessed with FBA right now, but you've got a kid and a wife and stuff, so it
Mm.
makes sense to have more balance towards your life.
It's
But
weird, but
yeah,
then it's almost to a fault, and honestly, like Simon, it's almost to a fault. I would say that I've obviously I've chosen this life for myself, and I don't know, like I've gone from the teaching life of just yes, you do get 100 days of a year, but you do work like a dog
mm,
throughout the other days, and basically you've got no evenings and stuff like that. And I would say it's maybe almost to a fault, like how
yeah,
much I'm spending time with the family and not potentially looking at the business. Like I think I did the same revenue as last year. Um, so again, it's okay, but we saw people in the group that did like 17K in December profit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
17K just in
So I look
December
at people like
profit.
that. People who make even more than that, and I'm like, I want that. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm like working hard for that. And you can make obviously December is the big month. That you can make 30, 40% of your entire year
yeah,
in 1 month. But every year you do it, you use a learning experience. Like I did it this year, and I ran out of stock, my good stock, at the end of
yeah.
November. So if I had
Yeah,
more
it was
stuff,
quite
I
mad,
made
wasn't it?
even
It was really mad this year, though. November was better than December for a lot of people. Like November was insane.
yeah.
November was
Yeah,
insane.
so December was still very good for me, but I ran out of some of my really good stuff. I could have priced it way higher. I could have held out longer and let everyone else sell out earlier, and then made those big sales in December. But yeah, each person wants to work as much as they want, I guess. And I guess the main thing I'd ask you would be, after you pay yourself, is there enough money for the business to grow, or is it a very stagnant?
It's,
Because that
uh,
might dictate whether you should
yeah.
work more, I guess. Because for me, I'm trying to grow the business, I guess. I've not paid myself anything yet, actually, in like nearly 2 years.
I
But
guess,
yeah,
yeah, I guess you would say. I mean, obviously, clearly that would explain as to why the business has stayed pretty much the same.
yeah,
Obviously, the model's changed completely because now we've got money being stocked for like 3 months being unused because it's literally just been transferred over from China. Um,
yeah,
I've got myself paying myself, so I've got the 1,024, whatever it is. A month. I'm also paying my brother 700 a month to do the OA packing, etc. But it might be the case that I'm quite naughty and using all these disposable allowance. So I'm thinking, why not? And then I've got the 300 that goes towards my private pension. So we've got about 2K each month coming out the business that the business never sees again, really, if you think about it, never sees it again. But
yeah,
I was in a good position because, like, we still had. Let's put it this way: I had 12K in the bank. Always after December, January. I always in my head I've got VAT and I've got corporation tax in my head. Now I know that this year's corporation tax might even be a 10K bill from the previous year. Okay, it might be a 10K bill for us. So that's why I had money that was being unused. Um, so for the company to have what 40K of stock on Amazon and then 10K in the bank, I do think this obviously not stagnant, I would say, but maybe it's not
mm,
growing as fast rate. It's not growing as fast, yeah. But at the end of the
sure.
day, I'm doing this full time. Like, are you doing it full time now? Yeah.
Oh, I've been full time, yeah, since well, like a couple of years now, really. I quit my job and then was twiddling my thumbs for like 2 or 3 months before I actually fell into Amazon. I kind of got not forced into it. But I was very reluctant to get into Amazon, but then I saw the numbers people were doing, and yeah, got
So
into
what's your
it. But
outgoings for the business like?
so they used to be really high. I had two like if you look at me, just sort of October, November last year, I was spending a fortune on prep. That was costing me a fortune with a prep center. I had two virtual assistants that were they're good guys, but they struggled to find deals on like Black Friday and stuff. And I was like,
Come
oh,
on.
what Black Friday? What? you know. And then well, so I had other costs as well. And basically, when I had like I don't know what my expenses were like 2,500 quid or something, or 2,000 quid. a month. And when you have a bad month, I was basically just break even, which kind of
Yeah.
sucked, you know. So I decided to fire the VAs for one. Somewhat regret that a little bit. I had three virtual assistants, two sourcing and one admin. Um,
Oh, you had an admin one. That's quite interesting. I
yeah, I had
mean,
another one. I
we could
really
literally have a whole
regret.
podcast. I reckon we could have a whole podcast just on like on the
Yeah,
admin, the admin bit.
I really regret firing her actually, but there wasn't enough work for her. She was pestering me all day. And the other thing as well, the reason I fired the VAs is because it really started to feel like a job every morning. Because with virtual assistants, you have to be on top of them all the time. I was having daily meetings with them, and then I
Yeah.
was having to wake up at a certain time to have the meeting. And it felt like a real chore, and it was depressing me. So I just fired them. It wasn't my gaff basically. I decided I'm pretty much going to try and stick to things in house as much as possible. I'm even doing the prep now, which is taking a lot of time, but just to really cut those costs down until I'm making more money. And now I'm making way more money, which is good. So maybe I'll look to outsource those things again. But it kind of sucks when you make like 3 grand a month and then you're paying out nearly all of it to other
Yeah.
people, and you put all that effort in. It's like, what's the point?
No, I
So
get you. I mean, I've had 3 times to sign up for a prep center, and after like 2 months, I'm like, nah. It's just because generally you just see the outgoings going out, like, and I'm very
yeah,
lucky, like, because of YouTube, like the software outgoings, that's not even an outgoing for me. You know what I mean? It's this time with us at the moment in time, the outgoings for us, and like obviously the reason as to why I asked the outgoings was like I keep saying
yeah.
the previous year, I knew that I was gonna get a big tax bill because I didn't even pay myself. So therefore, there was no outgoings for the business. It just
It's probably
stuck,
yeah, it's probably a mistake I've made. I've not paid myself anything yet. But
especially
obviously
when
with
you've got the
dividends,
12K, especially when you've got that 12K, you can.
yeah, I mean, I've got other income sources, so that's kind of taken up from that. Like I had an
Yeah,
Airbnb for anyone who didn't know. That's now shut down. But yeah, so that kind of, you know, covered that easily. So, and obviously, if you're going to pay yourself dividends, you kind of need the company actually needs to be showing a profit before you can pay
yeah.
yourself dividends versus like a salary. And my accountant was very happy about that, which is awesome. Which I do not recommend, by the way. I know you like them, but they are terrible. But I think it's down to hit your individual accountant when you get.
Yeah, I think it's a massive thing to do. Yeah,
My one was like, "Oh, your first VAT return. It doesn't matter if it's late. HMRC don't care. They're really lenient on your first one. In the
oh.
meantime, I'm getting threatening letters in the post from HMRC saying, pay this in 4 to 5 days, or it's going to a debt collection agency." So I'm like, "What the hell is
Well,
going
I
on?"
had one because I choose to do one of my VAT payments. I chose to do it as payment plan. I thought, well, it's Q4. I don't want to give out 6K when I can just do two, like two and two and two, whatever it is. And then
Sure.
HMRC, basically on the second after the first payment, they said, "Oh, we're sending it into a debt agency." A similar letter. I'm thinking, what the heck's happening? Like, it's a business, like it's a payment plan that's set up with yourselves. Like, why is this happening? Um, yeah, and it's brought threatening. It's not a nice letter to receive from HMRC.
No, exactly. And the thing is, they were obviously, I was actually owed money for my first VAT return, but obviously they
Always the
calculated that
case.
them money. So in the end, I just paid it and said, "Osam, you owe me the fines and
Yeah.
get this sorted." And I actually put a nasty message on their LinkedIn, and that actually got them going. Actually,
But
but yeah,
sometimes
no
you got to
progress.
fight it, you know what I mean? You gotta do what's best for you 100%. Like,
Yeah, so,
I've got a guy now, and as you said, I guess it's who you get to, each time. I've got a guy now that is doing at 10 o'clock at night, making sure that I finish my corporation because I want this corporation docs. I know we've got another 2 weeks before it needs filing. I want it filed this week, you know what I mean? So I'm always, like, hassling him, like, "Do it early, do it early, do it early." I'm always on the case, because I can then plan, if that makes sense. I can plan so
oh yeah, absolutely. And
like
actually, that brings us to a point you mentioned earlier. You said you like had 10 grand roughly sat in the bank doing nothing. Well, okay, it might be doing nothing, but it's good to have that contingency, especially with what's happened recently. All these people saying they can't pay their bills because they're pushing their Amazon business to the absolute limit
yeah.
with no spare cash. That's just crazy. Like, it's always good to. I mean, I get that you want to try and maximize your growth and like max out your credit card bill and just have enough just to pay it off, but you need to have like you're in Amazon's like sandbox. They
It's
can
literally
just
they can just
screw
pull the
you
plug,
over
innit?
at any point. Like, you know, they can basically just stop you from selling or like and payouts and stuff. So it's always good to have some money left over.
They can just pull the plug, innit? They can just literally pull the plug,
Oh
like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to actually get into Amazon in the first place because I heard so many horror stories about it. But I've been like slowly dragged deeper and deeper into it, and now a
you
lot of
are
it.
quite deep with it, and you're like, you just I mean, look at the background. You're in
I mean,
you're in
mine
Amazon.
pretty much my entire life now is FBA. So obviously doing Amazon FBA selling. I've also got my software that I do as well. Obviously YouTube I'm trying to build up as well. It's just literally my entire life is focused on FBA in one way or another. Just because the opportunity is so crazy to make. I see people posting big numbers, and I'm like, I want to be making 20, 30,000 a month.
Yeah, and it can be done, that's the thing,
More.
innit? It can be done. It's not fake
Yeah.
numbers. It's not fake numbers. For
No, no, I know
sure,
people can.
for sure, some people post SDK numbers without putting
Yeah.
profit without putting cost of goods in them, and it looks very well inflated. But
Yeah, yeah.
we know there's people that are doing it, they're grafters, and we can see the real figures, you know what I mean? Just and that's why I love it. And, like, for me, the Instagram side of Amazon has been amazing, but
Mm.
I used to be on Twitter on Amazon, and that was literally just measuring competition. That's all it was, literally, and I just thought like, "No, no, no, it's not for me." So, because it was I used at the time with the NFTs quite a lot, Twitter, trying to figure it out because
Okay.
I went quite deep on that one.
Yeah.
And of course, if you have that, and if you're talking about Amazon, you'll be seeing other people on Amazon. But it was just such a toxic place. It's just like, oh, do this and sign
Yeah.
up for me and sign up for this and do this.
I know
And
a
I'm
lot of
like,
the American guys are saying, "Oh, Twitter's where it's at" and stuff, but I've also heard bad things about Twitter as well. I need to probably get on it anyway just to promote myself, because I do like coaching and stuff now, so I try to promote myself through that way, and obviously try and get people my software and stuff like that. I've got
so have
like
you
a
got a
mini.
launch date for the software? Or is it still a beta?
Yeah, it's still. To be honest, people use it, but I've not actually added any features to it. What I'm actually working on right now, which won't necessarily release as software, is it's more for myself, and that is price drop monitors for like a load of different sites. I think that'd be a good way to get. Because to be honest, I'm not that great at sourcing, and I don't really like sourcing myself. So a lot of what I do with Amazon is like, and that's the big thing with Amazon. But I'm good at noticing opportunity when it comes along and going deep on it. I'm obviously good at reading keeper charts and stuff, but I'm not like my time is better spent elsewhere than just sitting there and source, which is kind
Yeah.
of why I regret trying the VAs a little bit. But
That's
yeah,
expensive though. Like for people, they're saying like, let's get a VA, let's get a VA. That's the next step. That's the next step.
yeah.
We're talking about 400 quid a month, isn't it? Really? Like
Yeah, which doesn't seem like a lot, but they need to be bringing that value in. And when they in the first 3 months,
you're
like
training him. You're
yeah,
training
you're
him, haven't
training. So
you?
you do need to know. I can source, but I'm just not that great at it. And I'm like, but you need to know what to do to teach them. That's the biggest mistake everyone does when they get VAs. They don't know how to source themselves.
Yeah, they're just thinking they're gonna get a magical day, and especially if you're getting
Yeah,
from an agency,
and
in the agency they'll be like, what, 2 day training, and then let's source
yeah,
for Amazon,
and
and
they might, if you're lucky, they might break even, they might get you a bit of profit, but the amount of, like, junk they send you is just crazy. So, I mean, with me, when I got my VAs, I was like, "I'm gonna have to sit there 1 hour every day, every morning. We're gonna go through, analyze deals, I'm gonna teach them."
yeah.
As it turns out, I hated doing that after a while. I hated those regular meetings, but to be
I
fair,
hate
they got me
meetings.
some
Yeah,
good
I know what you
deals.
mean. I hate meetings. Like I get you 100%.
Yeah,
Like I'm just like it's just not for me. It's not for me. It's just, and
yeah,
that's why I try and say there's a lot of money when it comes to doing it, but I just hate it. I hate the meeting. Like
yeah. It's a bit of a strange one for me because I wanna grow a business, and one key thing of growing a business is allocating out tasks to other people. You can't do it yourself. At the same time, though, I hate having employees.
this
But,
hate it.
well, ones that are in foreign countries, maybe. I don't know about UK ones, but the other thing as
Eh,
well is, I mean, you've had this problem as well. I'm pretty sure they're working for other people as well. Like,
Yeah, you suddenly seeing
'cause
like you've bought a deal and there's like 3 people on the listing. Suddenly you've got 35 people on the listing. You're thinking,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's a manual source deal. You just
I
find
mean, they
for
do
us.
kind of all reverse source each other, if that makes sense as well. But I remember one
Yeah,
of them, this guy found a great deal for a supplement, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good." Went to go and buy it like 5 minutes later, and it was all out of stock. So I was like, "That was really strange."
yeah.
I remember looking at one of them; he was complaining about his computer being really slow. So I was like, "Oh, share your screen," and he had something like tab open on with a Google Sheets called Team Rachel. I don't know what that was, but it seems like a bit weird. I was like, I didn't ask him, but I was like,
Yeah.
"What is this?" Anyway,
Who is
but yeah,
this
they're all
Rachel? Who is this? How much is paying you?
yeah. It might be nothing related to it, but I was like, it's a bit
The Sada
strange.
is doing his uni work. He's doing his uni work as assignment in the
Yeah.
meantime. He's just trying
'Cause
to
you
get to
you caught yours, cheating on you through BioUp Pro, didn't you? I remember seeing
yeah.
that video. you
Yeah,
mentioned.
it's just like I'm like, "Nah, it's not." It's like,
Yeah.
what are you actually doing here?
'Cause
This
that's the biggest problem. If they're moonlighting, then you're gonna end up on listings that are tanking. Like, I'm really strict right now on what I buy. Like, if it
How
gets
many
posted to a
units? How many do
group,
units? How many units do you do?
it all depends really. If I can clear the stock, I'll clear the stock.
Nah,
Uh,
wow.
but that's because that's a good guarantee that no one else can jump on it. But then I did that recently with something from Cocoon Center. It was a Vici branded one, which by the way you can't sell on Amazon from April onwards. And I like cleared the entire site, and yet there's somehow still 50 sellers on that listing. So either it came on another one, or I was too late to the party, and I was clearing the last of it, or what was there. So I bought like 100 units or something of it.
Damn. I
But
mean, I
in the
say
past,
damn, like I'm paying somebody in China 10,000 for stuff, but over here in the
yeah.
UK, I'm still terrible with it. Like I still do like three. I do 3.5. And honestly, sad. I still do 3.5 in the UK for OA.
So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because I was actually talking to someone earlier about like if you can't find like 100 sales per month listing, well, you can manufacture one by doing 10 tens. If that makes
Yeah.
sense, and find 10 ones that sell 10 a month. The problem is though, if obviously everyone jumps on them, then you get no sales. Um, but yeah, you can go really wide. The other thing as well, I mean, the one thing I'm getting away from is health and beauty because that is just so saturated. It's ridiculous. Like I'll do at Christmas, I'll do all the gift sets and perfumes because that's where the big money is. But health and beauty is just that's where all the beginners go, and it's just it's just horrible. So I'm clearing out on that, and I found myself a really good niche now, which I can't say what it is,
Oh
but
well,
it's
you
making.
wouldn't. Of course, you wouldn't do that. Wow, you'd be insane to
So
do
I
it.
really think it's good to niche down on a category if you can.
And what happens is the more you source from those websites and you find your niche, you know
Yeah.
exactly what you're doing every day. And it's like, I'm finding this, I'm finding this, if that makes sense. Like over and over again. I mean, I find myself like, obviously, clearly, like I do sell toys. So I've got my keywords, I've got my websites that I look every day in and day out
Yeah.
for it. And sometimes I get nothing. Sometimes I find a listing that's got 15, 20 quid profit per item sale. You know what I mean? It's just one of those
Yeah.
things.
And then that's
Um,
an important thing of sourcing is just trying to niche down on your particular area, know the places you can get them from, and check them consistently, and then you'll learn the sales cycles when things go on sale. What's a good price?
Your
What's a good brand?
newsletters, you know what I mean? Even the newsletters, receiving the newsletters, on the emails and you're thinking, well,
Yeah.
10%, well, I knew this item there. And I mean, I guess the more you do it, as with everything, the better you become. But it needs to also be enjoyable too. Like,
Yeah.
that's my thing, really with it. And for me, it's nice seeing that building the brand at the back of Amazon. You know what I mean? Like I've got items that I'm selling, and the big one for me now, and I've made a decision for us is what I'm going to be doing is every 4 months I'm going to be launching a product, but it's going to be one product, and I'm spending 6 grand on it. That's the way I'm going to be doing it.
Mm.
Because yes, I've got products. I think I've got about 6, 7 products now that are selling, and I'm getting 100, 120 quid a month profit of them. I've got one that's giving me 350 profit, which is brilliant. Because I was in the mentality of like, do 20 products, 300 quid. Um, so
Mm.
profit. So to get my 6k, that's what it is. Really. If you put it like 20 times the 300, that's all it is, and I get my 6k
Yeah.
profit with it. But once I was with the smaller margins, like when you get to like buying at 2 quid, selling it at 9, selling at 11, 12. Once you put your advertising, your margin suddenly becomes down to 8, 10%.
Mm.
So, and again, this has been from watching YouTube, from watching Helium 10 videos over and over again. Like now, what I do is I'm making sure at the time of ordering, the margin is at 30%, 30 to 40% at the time of ordering, because then I can put my advertising, and worst case scenario, the margin goes down to 25. And we're not even, I mean, the ROI is different than margin. Yeah, we know the difference between ROI and margin. So I'm thinking at 25% margin, I'm making my money work quite well for us. And that's what I'm doing. And so really, I want to be buying at 10 quid and selling at 40, 45. That's what I want to be doing. Um,
You can find the products to do it. That sounds great.
yeah, so I've done some two big orders now, and I think like,
Mm.
I mean, I guess that's the thing. It's all a numbers game too, isn't it? With Amazon, can you see the numbers working? Can you do it better? Um,
It is a numbers game, and it's also a volume game as well. Like, unless you find those rock star products, which are few and far between, it's like you're saying, like each private label product probably makes like £200-300 a month.
Yeah.
Like, I happen to know, Adam from the PL group, he managed to get his first private label product does like 1,500 profit
Mhm.
in 1 month. But they're probably few and far between. It's just a volume game, and you say, oh, like, and it's the same with OARA, just volume business really. And then hopefully if you keep at it, you'll find like a rock star product
And
every
that's
now and
it.
then.
It's just like I thought. I think I tackled PL in the same way I was tackling OA.
Mm.
Variation, wide, weed, not deep. I mean, the same way. I mean, it's not done as bad. I mean, I've quit my job. I've lived a very comfortable life. You know what I mean? But I've gone from like wide and not deep. And maybe I should be like just closing up a bit on the PL, close out and go deep on the products. And that's the way all everything that I've been looking, all the numbers and what's been working well for us for the listings that are doing really well. That's what's happened. I've gone deeper into it. So I've been able
Mm.
to source better at a better price. I've been able to get better transportation costs because I've got more units. Um, so yeah, it's just one of those that now I've just decided that the 6K profit every quarter, that's going to be going into launching a new product. That's what I'm going to be doing. So 6K needs uh, launching the further new product because then it's easy to manage. I think too at the time it'll be easier to manage to do
Mm.
that because I was launching
Yeah.
like I mean you said you went deep with buying all the equipment for the YouTube and all that. I thought I've gone 25K deep into private label. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah, but you can kind of see the return. You know the returns on that right
yeah,
away. Like with YouTube, for example, that takes a very long time to ever get a return. I'd say 99.999% of people would never make more than $1,000 on YouTube. Right, so that's yeah.
I mean
The
like I had a growth of 28 people in the whole of 2023. Yeah. And I did a
oh,
video about did the video about eBay and HMRC, and suddenly, like my channel growth, I've gone 200 in a month, which is a lot.
mm,
It's nothing for some people. 200 is nothing. For me, it was massive
no,
because,
but
like,
it's a
it's
big
just
percentage though,
graph.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's why you got to keep churning. It's like everything in life. It's consistency, like and putting the effort in. Same with Amazon. Like the longer you stick at it, like the first year is excuse my language.
Yeah.
Um, but the more you do it, the better you get. Same with your private label. Like you start off, you're learning. Like first year's for learning, second year's for earning is a good phrase. But like
Oh, nice.
it's the same with anything really. That's why I always tell like people I
Yeah.
coach. I'm like, your first year, you're gonna be losing money on some products. You're gonna be making money on products. You're gonna be learning what sells, what doesn't, what brands to buy, etc., etc. Right. But yeah, consistency is key.
Are you gonna start doing TikTok on the side too, or just the YouTube?
Yeah, I did make one TikTok video, so I made like a short and then tried to make it for TikTok and YouTube Shorts as well, but I don't know. It's too
It's
much.
it really is. It really is too much, and like I, for me, like I can see the difference if I'm posting every day. I can see the difference. Subscribers can see the difference of growth and everything, but it just almost feels forced. It feels like a job, but maybe I
Yeah,
should start treating some things like a job. I kind of just have everything just feeling like a hobby.
yeah. I mean, I work insane hours now. I'm doing like 10, 12-hour days on like
Damn.
various things. So I'm putting the effort in, but maybe I could be smarter with what I do, like maybe hiring a video editor or something like that, or I don't know.
I've
Yeah.
had a few DMs actually about video editors. I'm like, what are you trying to say about my videos?
Yeah, I think I've
what,
had a
what,
few as well. I
what,
don't
what are
know.
you trying? What are
Yeah,
you trying to say? Is this like are they not good enough or something? It's like
yeah.
hey, I've seen you not growing as fast as you should be. It's like
Uh,
well,
I
and
think there's
then
nothing wrong with doing like just a talking head video, which is what I do, but then you can see some like professional YouTubers and how their videos are like way better
yeah,
edited. They
like
had all the scenes in and I don't know, all kind of crazy
I
stuff.
don't know if
And
you've actually seen the growth or Ben Alistair, like the guy that I did
yeah,
a
yeah,
privately.
yeah.
The growth is insane. Like I spoke to him last year in October. He was at 10K. He's like what 150K on YouTube. Like it's
Oh
insane.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I went,
150K.
I was in one of his seminars actually where he was selling his course. I nearly signed up, but decided not to. Uh,
I needed the kick at the back. I needed
he
somebody to
does
tell me.
loads of shorts though. He does
Yeah, he's
loads.
got he's got an editor, and like, I mean, he
Actually,
he works he
yeah,
works really well, man. Like the guy
yeah,
grafts, the guy's grafting. I'm just thinking,
yeah,
guy,
120
do
subscribers.
this. could I do it? Could I do it that hard? You know, could I
Yeah.
do it that? I mean, I
If you
don't know if I
enjoy
could.
it, then do it. Oh, you're obvious I noticed recently you're putting out more videos, so I do generally watch most of them. You probably see our comment as
I
well.
appreciate it. I need the comments. I need the comments. I don't get any interaction.
Yeah,
This video, so
yeah.
I'm just getting like, is anybody watching?
People do watch that, and yeah, but yeah, it's consistent. It takes time, and so YouTube is if you want to do it naturally, then it does take longer.
Yeah,
You got to pay promotions, as you've seen. For me, like, but that's only, I only did that because they offered me like free money, so I was like,
it's
oh, I could
like,
get
yeah,
eight.
why not? If
Probably
that
more,
makes
so
sense.
yeah, I've really got 4 minutes by the way, but yeah, so
Yeah,
sort
I'm just looking at this.
of.
It's like,
We can always join another call and carry on.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So should we do that? So we don't break up. We'll do. I'll call
Yeah,
you back.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. That's cool.
This is
We can
because we
study
are
YouTube
getting money on Amazon,
together.
guys. We're getting plenty of money on Amazon, but we're tight. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are tight. Right, I'll do this recording.
Absolutely.
No, so
Um,
like I've recorded it now and everything.
yeah.
Yes. So obviously guys, we got hit with a 10-minute 10-minute wait time because we're too tight to pay for it. I don't even remember the train of thought. Where were we? I don't even remember where the train
I think
of
we're
thought
talking
was.
about social media stuff,
Mm.
but yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just like you've got to proper want it, I think. You've got to proper want it with us. Like, I mean, I'm enjoying it an awful lot, and I think since like a few people have messaged and say like, "Oh, this is kind of helpful." That's all I need really. I need two or three people to say, "This is, by the way, this is actually helpful." So
yeah.
it kind of feels nice to do, and I thought like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm learning too with it. You know what I mean? Like I am learning. Like I made the video about the director salary. Yes, obviously I'm doing it there, but I didn't know anything about it like 2 years ago. I didn't have a clue, and I've got a degree in economics. Um, so yeah, I'm learning. I'm
Me
constantly
too.
learning. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm constantly learning with it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've
And
got four.
that's the great thing about starting a business, even an Amazon business. You learn so much about taxes and running a business and all
But
sorts of
just think
stuff.
how many people are going to live their lives without owning a business. How many people are not going to own a business? Just
Yeah.
the vast majority of people are not going to own the business because they're just scared of paying the tax or all the admin that goes with it. Really, but
Yeah, and it is a pain, but what's more of a pain? Dealing with taxes once or twice a year, or if you're VAT registered 4 times a year, or, like, going a 1-hour commute every day to your 9 to 5, like,
I
you know,
hated it,
yeah,
man.
it's a
I hated
no-brainer, isn't it?
driving. I hated
Yeah,
the driving. The driving for me was a killer. I was driving to Clitheroe, my last job. It was an
yeah,
amazing school, amazing kids. You know what? It was the place where if you're a teacher, that's the place you want to be with. You're surrounded with
mm,
like amazing teachers. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I'd just rather be home. I'd rather,
yeah,
I'd rather just be in my little garage, just pottering about. Like, I mean, obviously, you can see the
sure.
background's changed again. Like, what do I do in my free time? I just potter around my garage, uh, just pottering around, tinkering, moving stuff around, trying to make it as good as possible. Because again, that's the massive thing. The outgoing buying to the outgoings in Amazon. I've been very lucky that I have used the garage to start my business with. I've now using my mum's garage to store stuff too.
Yeah,
So I'm just very lucky
yeah,
because I was very, very close of when I viewed a unit. I was going to buy a unit. And then again, speaking to other people that have got the units, they were like, do you understand all the costs that occur on top of your
just
monthly
basically
rent?
double it, double
Yeah,
the cost, basically,
it's
you know?
exactly that. So I
With
thought, well,
business rates, if you pay them, and then you got your insurance. So I've looked at warehouses, decided not to get one right now. But what I did get is a storage unit, and I was like really excited for it, and you know, and then I spoke to a few people, and they were like, "You're gonna get, it's gonna get broken into." So I went from like being really excited
dear
to
me.
because I was planning on storing a lot of stock there. So one thing I wanted to get into, I did years and years ago. I was into Lego investing, talking like 6 years, 7 years ago. Stopped it because I couldn't didn't have where to store it. And obviously, if you're paying for like a locker and stuff, unless you're really packing it to rafters, all your games are going to be gone on
Yeah,
rent,
onto that.
basically.
Yeah.
So, but now I was like, well, I'm doing FBA anyway. I can run my FBA out of that locker, and then also store Lego there as well. But then everyone was like, no, no, you don't want to store stuff in there. It'll get nicked. It's all inside jobs, blah blah blah. So yeah, I've got insurance now and stuff, but yeah, I'm still a
It'll
bit.
never be nice when it's never nice dealing with stuff like that. It's just it would never be
Yeah.
nice dealing with it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, so I've got a locker for now. It'll do, and then hopefully maybe I'll upgrade to a warehouse at some point. But Lego is one of the worst things. Like, it can be really valuable, and someone steals it, it's untraceable and really easy to shift. It's like the perfect thing to steal. because you can just sell it on Facebook or eBay or whatever.
Well, it
Uh,
really is. It really, really is. And like, I mean,
yeah, there's no yeah, serial
I'm in
numbers
a
or anything like
situation where
that.
like I took the money out, the S&P, and I've got 7K of Lego, and it's up in the loft, and I basically cannot use the loft kind of thing. And I'm
Yeah,
just thinking, I was literally had this conversation with my wife. I was like, I'm thinking I'm going to sell the Lego. I mean, first of all of it should have a profit. Maybe it goes to 40% instead of 60% if I kept it for another year, and then just pay off that student loan. Have you
yeah.
got any
Well, if
student
you're
loan
paying
left?
7, yeah, I mean, it probably makes sense to pay off the loan. For me, I'm trying to incorporate more Lego into my FBA business, where you basically, obviously buy it and then just hold on to it and then sell the retired Lego. Obviously, there's quite a lag time between like when you buy it and then
Yeah.
when it's retiring set start being valuable. Might be a year or two, but I've seen a few people in other groups where they make hundreds of thousands a year. And one guy is posting all the time. I don't know where he gets it from, but pallets of Lego that he just gets delivered. I'm like, how is he
Wow.
getting pallets of Lego? And he just literally stores it away and then sells the retired sets further down the line.
It's a great way
But
to do it, especially like, I mean, obviously the first 2 years are gonna shock, but then
yeah,
after that, you can just see it growing
yeah.
more and more and
And you
more
can just
kind of
build it
thing.
up slowly. You can sell. You can do the whole like you buy 10 units, sell 5 now. If it's profitable, and keep 5 for your investment or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Lego collectors do that. They buy one set for to build, and they buy one set for investment, and hopefully that will pay off or at least
Yeah.
cover some of the
I mean,
costs.
I've not
So
even got the time to build, mate. Like, these are to build.
yeah,
These are generally to build, and I've just not got the
yeah.
time with it,
Me t
unfortunately.
I'm the same as
Uh,
well, to be honest. I've got them in
I
place.
love it. I love doing it. Like, if I get some time to do it, it's like love playing on a PS5. I absolutely love playing on a PS5. Just not got the time. Like, I'm thinking, or if I've got to split, I'm thinking, what could I do extra for the
Mm,
YouTube or business? You know what I mean? There's so many different things because I'm like an octopus, it's everything me. And as you said, I guess that's the thing. Like, and hoping like when we're having the same conversation like next year, we maybe have somebody else on board. You know what I mean? Like doing different stuff, if that makes sense. Because I think
absolutely.
that's when you've got a growth, when you've got a business, you're not just like yourself. Yes and no, we call ourselves a limited business. Yes, we're VAT registered. We are earning okay 6-figure businesses, but really it's the start when you start employing someone and sifting that. But then it's the massive element of trust. You know what I mean? How are you going to trust people with coming with stuff coming in constantly? And as you said, stuff that's untraceable, you can just basically just decide one day, you know what, 20K, stuff it.
Yeah,
They can't improve
exactly.
it's me. Stuff I'm just gonna take it and go kind
Yeah.
of
So one
thing.
of the guys that actually ran into this guy, it was when the Tesco deals dropped. I was going around Tesco's, and saw this guy. He was on Seller Ramp. First time I've ever met someone in a store who does, and I was like, "Are you in a group?" Or he was being really cagey. I was like, "Are you in like Live Cops, which is another group?" But he was like, "Oh yeah." I got chatting to him, but he was a massive sneaker reseller. Anyway, I got chatting to him on Discord, and he said he had 200 grams worth of sneakers in a unit, and basically it got broken into. But fortunately, he had cameras in there, and by the time they basically loaded up the van, the police turned up
Wow.
and stopped the theft. But again, it's another one that can be easily solved. There's no like traceability to those things.
No.
So yeah, he kind of warned me on that one. But
I caught with somebody on Amazon once. I've actually had 2 people, see me out and like, it's me sure I'm like, "Damn."
you're a celebrity.
One was a pharmacist. One was a pharmacist. I was like, "Yeah." He just turned around very not nonchalant. It's just like, "Do you still do the Amazon thing?" I was like, "Yeah." It's just like, How the heck do you know it?"
That's
Um,
cool.
the pharmacist over at my mum's, and then the second one was, it was a guy that he was with his must have been with his wife or girlfriend, and they were buying about 25 chocolate bars, you know what I mean? And they were counting in them and everything, like, and they had another 100 or 150 inside. So I was like, are you guys doing Amazon? He's like, no, 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 kind of thing. And then he turns
Yeah,
around and chases me. He's like, actually, your video changing from a self-employed to a limited company. Help me out. I was like,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Because I
I
felt like
followed that video as well, by the way.
I felt like a
So
right idiot at the time. I was like, "Oh, just the guys were just buying chocolate bars." And I'm like, "Are you guys doing Amazon also?" So, because you just got to
yeah,
speak to other people that do it. You know what I mean? It's like
sure, yeah.
not many people understand the fact that
Because
you're
people are really cagey though, and they're really scared. Like the employees ask, I just tell them I don't care
yeah,
now. Like,
yeah,
okay, if they say to me, you can't walk out with this stuff, it's like, well, that's gonna suck. Maybe it's £100 worth of profit or whatever. Okay, I'm
yeah,
not just gonna walk away. It's not, maybe if I had like pallets of stuff, I'd be a bit more,
yeah,
But it's like I just don't really want to lie about it. Really, it just seems. And most people are just interested.
yeah. It seems to
You
most
know,
people is that, especially like I mean, it's only the manager that can stop you. No one else
yeah,
can stop you.
exactly.
It's only the
Yeah,
manager who can stop you. Really, no one else can.
yeah.
with it.
So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting that people are really cagey around that kind of thing. But I guess if you're new and stuff, it seems like,
Well,
yeah,
everything is mad. You thinking people are looking at you and everything. People should be looking. I mean, I'm 6'4". If I'm walking up and I'm scanning stuff, people will gonna notice me. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna
mm,
notice me, especially if I'm sat in the Barbie aisle scanning scanning
yeah.
Barbies. People are gonna be like, "Yeah, what is he doing?" kind of thing. It's just one of those things. You just got to. I mean,
If
I
you want
just
to do RA, you're gonna
wanna.
get used to that,
Yeah,
basically.
it's exactly that. It is exactly
Sometimes you
that.
run into like with the Tesco one. That's what one of my friends was telling me. The Tesco employee told him off for using the hand scanner to check prices. She's like, "That's not what that's for. That's for buying things, not for checking prices." It's like,
Wow.
really?
Wow. Well, some people have got the small
Yeah,
mentality too, isn't it? Some people have just got it's just it's
yeah,
just a thing. But you can't take it personally. It's just like with everything, you cannot take it personally. Everybody's got
yeah.
their agenda.
Some people
That's
are
it.
just not happy or whatever, or just don't like that kind of thing. So
No.
yeah, it's just yeah, doesn't if someone says, "Oh, you can't buy stuff," just move on. It's not end of the world,
That's it. It's just
especially if
like
you're doing
there's
RA in one store.
plenty fish in the sea, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
you'll go to the next store, then they'll basically say, "Buy what you need," you know what I mean? Buy what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I've seen people post, stories about them asking the employees, like, "Have you got any more at the back?" And they literally bring out like a whole bloody one of those little
Yeah.
trolley things full of stock for them. So
It just
yeah.
depends what mood you catch them, you know what I mean? Everyone's got a mood, you know what I mean? It just depends what
Certain
mood.
people, yeah, just not happy, are they? I guess and they just
Yeah.
don't like to see success in other people. But yeah, I recommend anyone like start a business if you can. I know it's not for everyone. People like that regular payment every month, and it is kind of scary, I guess, doing your own business. And not everyone has like a mindset to want to run a business, but if you're thinking about it, just do it. I say,
I don't think there's
um,
a better way to finish this today. This up
yeah,
today. You know what I mean? If you think I mean, it's just amazing, isn't it, owning your business, just you know what I mean?
yeah,
Don't
just
get me
yeah,
wrong, I mean, it's like yourself, you're working crazy hours, you know what I mean? And I got to the stage where I was working full
yeah.
time plus doing the crazy hours in afterwards. And
It's a
the
choice though. I don't have to do it. I just want to right now. My goal is to work hard now, and I enjoy it. So it doesn't feel that
yeah,
like
it's
you
exactly
know.
that, which is the dangerous part of Amazon, isn't it? You just enjoy it, you just
Uh,
get hooked.
but yeah, and what say you end up working when you work for yourself. You end up working twice as hard as when you work for someone else.
Yeah.
But at least you're working for yourself. That's the main thing.
And there's no
Uh,
ceiling. There is literally no ceiling, mate. That's the thing. There's no ceiling with it.
exactly.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Especially with something like Amazon, like you're never going to outgrow Amazon. You could send them £5 million worth of inventory in one day, and they can sell it and ship it for you.
Yeah.
What other businesses can you do that without a huge amount of logistics and setup and
Yeah.
scale?
It's exactly that.
It'd
It is
be so
exactly
difficult.
that.
That's why I'm so bullish on Amazon. And there's so many ways like making money on Amazon. Like you're doing private label, I do OA, bit of RA. I'm getting into private label hopefully soon. My older brother and me are kind of partner on it. But there's like you can do bundles. I don't know if you've ever done
Yeah.
bundles. They're another huge thing you can do. There's so many ways to do this. It's just kind of crazy, really. And then so the scale is massive. So anyone thinking of getting into Amazon, do it.
Do it. Do it. And
But
then
know
like
that it's not easy. you know.
that's the
Uh,
things that everyone thinks about. And I'll put the links also. I'll put the show notes. I'll make show notes too. I tell you what, I,
okay.
surprisingly easy to upload a podcast, Simon. Surprisingly
Okay.
easy. Yeah, I
Cool.
mean, I'm not going to tell to people that it took us 10 minutes for me to sort out my headphones or trying to get everything else recording, but
Yeah.
it's surprisingly easy to upload the podcast. So I'll do
Okay.
that, and I put the sort notes. Like, if you send us your link, I'll put your YouTube channel also because you're doing that and you're doing really well with that too. And
Yeah.
you're also
Appreciate that.
providing people with one-to-one support too. So we'll make sure we put all that and below and where to contact you. But
Yeah.
I can
It's
see
at
us doing
FEN
this
Logan.
very regularly, mate. I can see us doing
Yeah,
this
I'm
very
happy
regularly.
to do
Yeah.
a regular call, and if we can try and get some guests on maybe, or if people wanna do maybe try and do live maybe on YouTube, or if you think people can ask questions and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think it'd be a good
Yeah.
idea to do this, mate.
I'm always happy
I
to
enjoyed it. You know what I mean, I've enjoyed this. I've
no,
generally
me
have
too.
enjoyed this. So I think we
I
should do
always
a bit
enjoy
more of it.
chatting Amazon, chatting business, and just catching up with people is always good. Hopefully people get value out of this as well. So,
That's the biggest one. Are you going to switch off now? Are you going to do another hour?
probably gonna call it a night now. I need
Yeah.
to get some food actually. I'm pretty hungry. And then, but I don't know. Yeah, get the. I've got some price monitors. I'm trying to write code, so I'll probably do that. And I look at my profits for the day. So
Mate,
just under 500 for the day, so not too bad.
oh wow, it's not bad at all, man. Well done.
Yeah,
Well done,
so
man. Well done.
crushing it now, but yeah, it's keeping it up, keeping it consistent. That's the key, isn't it? So But yeah,
As
awesome.
with everything, man. It's been
Yeah,
absolute pleasure,
yeah, awesome. Cool.
and
Have fun stitching those videos together. Shouldn't be too difficult,
it's
but
gonna
yeah.
be actually no, there's no editing done, innit? There's no editing really. Literally just put the
Uh,
2 things together and just so probably have it as
yeah,
if you can.
maybe, I think I swore once or twice, so maybe comment that out,
I've
but
swore it 3 times, so you're okay.
depends if you care about that or not, so it's not exactly made for kids, is it? So,
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
yeah,
We'll get away
awesome.
with it. If Joe Rogan can get away with it, we can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a good one, mate.
Yeah, cool, alright, good to catch up, mate. See you later. Bye.